Hello, tubers and tubettes. My name is David, and I live in Northern California, and I love California. But today is a cold, windy, wet day, and so I had my birthday yesterday, and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about it. And when I say cold, it's 44 degrees. It is windy and it is rainy. We don't usually have that, but man, I really enjoy it. Only bad thing about it is I have an appointment today at 1 o'clock up in a town called Auburn, and it'll be about an hour and 20-minute drive. You know, that's in good weather. So when it rains in California people don't know how to drive. We immediately get into accidents. It's the craziest thing ever. I mean, there's accidents all over the place when it rains. So anyway, had a birthday party yesterday, had about 13 family members there. My two sons were there, my grandson, and my mother-in-law, and my brother and sister-in-law, and two of our older uncles. So it was nice, you know, it was very, very nice to get together with everybody, especially the older people, because you just don't know how long they're going to be around. But it was nice that everybody came and celebrated my birthday. We had some pizza from Straw Hat. It was really good. I have been on a diet for 60 days, and I have fallen off a little bit here and there, but to be able to eat Straw Hat pizza yesterday, that was really nice. So I indulged a little bit, and then also I ended up getting I had cake and ice cream, you know, so yeah, all that stuff could tend to drive up my glucose, but it wasn't that bad this morning. So it was good all the way around. I got some high-tech stuff, you know, this camera mount, which I'm using now. I love it. My wife got it for me. I'm hoping it's not going to be vibrating too much when I'm driving down the road. And but it's nice. It mounts on my windshield, and it mounts right about where my rear view mirror is. So when I'm done taking a video, which you probably know I like to do them in my car, then I can just take it off, and it slides right up to the roof. It tilts right up to the roof. I already did this video just a few minutes ago, but I was using my phone, and I forgot to charge this. I didn't even know that this had to be charged. I charged my microphone, but not this. So this is a wireless mic that I got. And I know it would make a lot more sense if I read the instructions, but I'm pretty much don't read the instructions kind of people. In fact, my son yesterday, he was offering to leave me a couple of magazines. I don't know, it's like on going to Japan, which I just went to Japan in February, and he wanted, oh Dad, do you want to read these magazines? And I go, to be honest with you, I'm not going to read them. If I'm going to do anything, you know, to find out about Japan or about a town or about a specific thing, I'll just YouTube it. I'm a big YouTuber. That's why I started making videos again, because I watch everything on YouTube. I don't even watch television hardly anymore. There's not really anything I like watching. But the main reason is, I hate those freaking commercials, you know, on the cable channels. Sometimes there's like more commercials than there are actual material, whatever they're presenting. So I was gonna say, on the appointment that I have today, it's in Auburn, but it's on a seriously sloped driveway. I mean, it's really sloped, and I need to measure it with my measuring wheel. And I'm gonna meet them at 1 o'clock, give them a price, which the price appears to be really, really good, you know, especially for that area. And it is a good price. But what's not included in the price, and will have to be extra, is the excavation. When I walked to the backyard, I happened to glance over and look at how they put that house in there, and I actually had to jackhammer the rock out of there, you know, to create a big enough pad to put this house, you know, where it's at. So that usually means to us that it's going to have to be jackhammered, you know, to get the pool in. We don't use jackhammers. We have a backhoe, which is $1,500, and then a $500 delivery charge. So there's $2,000 right there. And first day of excavation is included, but everything after that, you have to pay for the backhoe on a daily basis and an hourly, not a daily rate on it. So it could be, I think it could be $20,000, if I were just to give it a rough estimate of what it's going to cost us to demo hammer out the rock to put a pool in there. And while we're doing that, we're going to need to demo out the run to the pool equipment and the run to the electrical, which is all in line. So we'll do the run to the pool equipment first, dig the pool, then do the line to the electrical on our way out, because there's no way you can dig it in there. It's going to have to be done with a backhoe, with a jackhammer attachment attached to the arm of the backhoe. So it's not impossible, but that just jumped the pool from, I think the pool came out to $63,000, which is a good deal. Nobody's doing them up there like for that price. They're charging surcharges and mountain charges and all this other stuff. We don't do that, but and then they'll have the same issues with excavation that we do. But instead of having to go through our company where we mark everything up 30%, they'll be able to pay directly, to the excavator. So my job superintendent is going to meet me up there, and so is the excavator, so they can hear it from the horse's mouth. I'm going to give him a little pre-thing on it, and he seems to be really wanting to have this pool in there. So we'll see how much they want it after they hear that they're looking at about $80,000 probably. Could be less, if it digs better than we think. But even just coming up with the permit is a nightmare, because up in that area, which is Placer County, they require a topographical map, which is a map that shows the elevations of the whole property. I have no idea what the elevation is where I'm building it, and I don't know what the difference of the elevation is from where I'm building it to where the street is. So they do make maps like that. Sometimes we have to have them made, by a surveyor, or get a geological map, try to place the house on that geological map. But that's beyond, I can do it. I have done it in the past. I don't do it anymore. We have our job superintendent would do that. So got to locate the sewer and the septic tank, and we have to also locate leach fields and also the well, because there's setback requirements on that. But it seemed like he told me it was a couple of acres, so it is buildable. On the leach fields, the issue is the leach field has an expansion area, they call it. So if your leach field is, let's just say 100 by 40, that would be 400 square feet. Then somewhere on the property you have to have 400 square feet for future expansion. If you don't have that 400 square feet, you can't build the pool. So we have some areas out here in Stockton, which are in the county, so they do have septic tanks. The septic tanks are put in the front yard, and then the pool, if you want to put a pool in, it would be in the backyard. But the problem with it is even that septic system has to have expansion on it. So sometimes the only expansion you can get on a small city lot, even though it's in the county, is you can only get the expansion right where we're going to put the pool. So those become non-buildable. I need about an acre to be able to get the well, the septic tank, and a swimming pool on there, and not have them encroach over each other. So it used to be 50 feet from a leach field is where the well, you'd have a well place, and then you have to have at least 50 feet from a septic tank. But now the law was changed maybe 10 or 15 years where it's 100 feet. And it's not just 100 feet from your well, but it's 100 feet from adjacent wells on other properties. So they typically put a well on one side of the property, and sometimes that 100-foot radius on a neighbor's well makes it so you can't put the leach field, or you can't put the pool. The leach field can't go within that area. So that means you can't have expansion in that area. So that means that you can't you could build a pool in that area, but you don't have proper expansion. So again, the expansion area has to be where the pool is. So I've had that on less than an acre. I had one though that I built in Stockton, and I think it could still be built now. The other salesman came out and they said, no way, you can't build a pool here. It is impossible. And I was like, I hate to say that. I was like, well, I could measure it up and I could see if we could get it in here. And so he told me the corner he wanted to put it in, because he had 2 houses on it, 2 leach fields, and 1 well on 5 acres. So it takes up a lot of room when you put that 100-foot radius around the well. And so when I measured on my buildable envelope to say I've got to be 3 feet from the property line, 3 feet from the rear property line, you got to be out of that, the buildable, the expansion area for the sewer line, septic tank. When I got all that stuff written out, I had like a little rectangle that was in the very far corner. And I said, the pool can go right there. Well, what about if we put it up? Nope, can't go there, has to go here. And I explained it to him, I remember he was a guy that only spoke Spanish, or he felt very comfortable in Spanish. So his sister-in-law, who was a title insurance person, she could speak Spanish and English. So she interpreted for us. But it is kind of amazing, I thought, because this guy was a supervisor at a cannery, that he'd been here for 10 or 15 years and he could not speak English. He couldn't speak it well at all. So, he spoke Spanish at his house with all of his relatives, and he went to work. He spoke Spanish at the cannery. He had people interpret what the bosses were saying, and living his best life in California, not learning English. So, that's probably, you think like, well, he should learn English, Dave. He needs to learn English. Well, I'm not learning Spanish, so I don't blame him. I guess if I lived in Mexico, I'd have to learn, but I don't think you'd have to actually learn. There's certain places there where expats live where everybody speaks English. I know when I was down in Mexico one time, I was with an attorney. We were looking for a site to build some fiberglass stuff, and manufacturing. And anyway, I said, oh man, there's a Home Depot there. I want to go check out that Home Depot. And so I just want to check it out because I might need supplies and stuff. And I went there, and it was just like our Home Depot here. It had everything in English, and all the workers that were working in there, they could speak English. I felt like I could have been anywhere in the Central Valley. They were all Mexican, but they could speak English and Spanish. And so he was telling me, no, the reason it's like that is because there's so many expats that live there. And I remember at the time you could get a house, not a great house, but a house on the beach for $100,000. I was like, oh my God. But the only problem with it is you got the cartels, and I think a lot of people, maybe they feel comfortable when they see federales with the automatic machine guns, standing at guard stations and stuff. But that actually makes me feel very uncomfortable. So I would rather just have security through. I don't need to see everybody with a machine gun. So anyway, tried working with my microphone. It's being charged right now. I had no idea that it needed to be charged. Next time I'll read the instructions. No, I probably won't read the instructions. But I just want to let you know how my day's going and what I'm doing. And thank you for tuning in and finding me. If you can, go ahead and subscribe so we can stay together. And I'll continue to have videos like this. Thank you much, and have a great day.